from secret smuggling tunnels to overt real estate investments, from traditional Islamic charity to control over the infrastructure of an entire region. Dive with us into the depths of Hamas's local financial sources and discover how this organization has adapted and evolved in the turbulent landscape of the Gaza Strip. Background information on Hamas. Hamas, which means zeal in Arabic, is a Palestinian organization founded in 1987 amidst the First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation. The organization traces its roots to the Muslim Brotherhood, an Islamic movement founded in the 1920s in Egypt. Hamas's establishment was a response to what many viewed as the failure of secular Palestinian groups to achieve tangible results in their quest for an independent Palestinian state. From its inception, Hamas positioned itself as both a political and military entity. Their charter, published in 1988, declared both their desire to establish an Islamic Palestine across all of historic Palestine and their opposition to Zionism and the State of Israel. In subsequent years, Hamas's influence grew steadily through both their social services to Palestinians and their attacks against Israel. In 2006, the political wing of the movement participated in the Palestinian parliamentary elections and secured a majority of seats, leading to a seismic shift in Palestinian political dynamics. It is also important to note that since its founding, Hamas has been designated as a terrorist organization by several countries and entities, including the United States and the European Union, because of its attacks on civilian targets in Israel. We will tell you more about this at the end of the video. Local revenue sources of Hamas. After taking control of the Gaza Strip in 2007, Hamas has solidified its financial grip on the region through a series of fiscal and commercial initiatives. One of the first financial measures Hamas introduced was taxation on goods smuggled through tunnels between Egypt and Gaza. These tunnels acted as a lifeline for the Gaza Strip, especially during restrictions at border crossings. Although Egyptian authorities took actions at various times to shut down these tunnels, they remained a robust source of revenue for Hamas. With the increasing closure of these tunnels, Hamas adapted by taxing goods entering through the official Kerem Shalom border crossing. Within the Gaza Strip, Hamas also levies taxes on local businesses and services. These direct taxes bolster their hold on economic activities in the area. There are indications that some residents of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank financially contribute to Hamas. This might be due to ideological alignment or in appreciation of the social services Hamas provides to the populace. Within Islam, zakat is a mandatory form of charity. As Hamas manages various charitable institutions and social services in the Gaza Strip, it's believed that a portion of these zakat contributions find their way to the organization. Hamas has invested in real estate, not just within the Gaza Strip but beyond, serving as an additional revenue source. Engagement in agricultural projects and trade initiatives has provided Hamas with revenue. These activities give the organization a stake in Gaza's economy. By exerting control over utilities and other vital infrastructure within Gaza, Hamas also generates revenue. International sources of revenue. Historically, Iran has been one of the main financiers and arms suppliers of Hamas. However, the relationship between Hamas and Iran is complicated and has seen both highs and lows, depending on regional geopolitical developments. Nevertheless, Iran's financial and military support has contributed to Hamas's ability to carry out military actions and maintain its influence in the region. Other states? There have been claims of financial support from other states to Hamas, but these are often controversial and less documented than Iran's support. Many charities in the Middle East and beyond have legitimate aims to help Palestinians in need. However, there have been instances where funds collected for humanitarian purposes have been indirectly funneled to Hamas or affiliated entities. This has raised concerns about terror financing and prompted some countries to ban or impose sanctions on specific charities. Globally, there are significant Palestinian communities, from North America to the Middle East and Europe. Many send money to relatives in the Palestinian territories for humanitarian purposes. However, concerns have been raised that some of these funds might indirectly end up with Hamas or affiliated groups, either through coercion and extortion or through other channels. It is essential to note, though, that the vast majority of these remittances from the diaspora are intended for legitimate humanitarian and personal purposes. The influence of funding on Hamas's actions. At the heart of the Gaza Strip, Hamas functions not only as a political entity, but also as a cornerstone of daily life for many Palestinians. Their influence ranges from classrooms, where they manage schools and universities that provide regular education along with elements of religious and political indoctrination, to healthcare, where their hospitals and clinics play a vital role. Especially during times of conflict, these medical establishments are crucial for treating the wounded. Beyond education and healthcare, Hamas has also deeply committed to the infrastructure of the Gaza Strip. After the devastations of various conflicts, the organization invested in rebuilding essential structures such as roads, bridges, and buildings, supporting the area's resilience and recovery. At the same time, one cannot overlook Hamas's military dimension. A significant portion of their finances goes into weapons production, ranging from simple rockets to more advanced systems. Their underground tunnel network, serving both defensive and offensive purposes, speaks of their strategic investments. These tunnels, coupled with the training and salaries of their military wing, illustrate their operational capabilities' depth. However, Hamas's voice extends beyond the borders of the Gaza Strip. Through their funded media channels, television, radio, and print, they disseminate their message and perspective, targeting both local and international audiences. The picture becomes complete when looking at the administrative role Hamas assumes. As the de facto governing authority, they manage the day-to-day operations of the Gaza Strip, from paying civil servant salaries to overseeing utilities. It shows an organization deeply rooted in both the political and social fabric of the area. Sanctions. Many countries, including the United States, the European Union, and Canada, have designated Hamas as a terrorist organization. This classification has led to multiple international sanctions. The aim of these sanctions is to restrict the financial flows to the organization, thereby hampering its ability to carry out military operations and acquire weapons. In addition to direct financial sanctions, travel bans have been imposed on certain leaders and members of the organization. Efforts have also been made to limit fundraising by charitable organizations with ties to Hamas. The goal here is to reduce the financial support flowing to Hamas through these channels. While the sanctions have undoubtedly impacted Hamas's finances, the organization has found ways to continue its activities, partly by tapping into alternative funding sources, and partly by increasing its local revenue streams. However, the subject of sanctions against Hamas is not without controversy. While some believe these sanctions are necessary to limit the group's military actions, others argue that they primarily hurt Palestinian civilians, worsening their living conditions without addressing the core issues.